Just 2 days after being sentenced in a Boulder City courtroom, suspected animal hoarders Carolyn Luke and Timothy Miller appeared in a Las Vegas justice courtroom Thursday afternoon. Miller and Luke were ordered to be released from jail without having to post bond.
While this case is pending, you are ordered to stay out of trouble. You are also ordered not to possess animals. Do you understand?
Yes.
The animal hoarders were set free? Hey, it's Scotty. I wanted to do an update about this Las Vegas animal hoarding situation, and calling it hoarding is really kind of framing it the wrong way, because it is more like an animal abuse neglect situation rather than just a simple hoarding situation. So we're going to look at a couple of these news reports, and I have to warn you that some of these images are disturbing, but it is very important that we don't turn our backs on this, that we learn as much as we can, and that we keep shining a light on this situation and situations like this.
An arrest report revealing disturbing new details about a severe case of animal hoarding.
The report paints a more vivid picture about what exactly police and animal control discovered inside the local couple's home and hotel rooms. Timothy Miller and Carolyn Luke arrested after Boulder City police say they found dead animals in their car during a traffic stop. Animal control says it found even more dead animals, alive and dead, in a local motel room. That includes 12 dead dogs. The room also contained a menagerie of live animals, including 21 dogs, 39 guinea pigs, 2 hamsters, and a rabbit. Inside the home, the report shows officers found dogs living in their own feces, as well as multiple filthy aquariums, bird cages, and hamster enclosures. Documents show they discovered 42 dead animals in a freezer. Miller and Luke face 14 counts of willful and malicious torture of an animal.
Our top story tonight, dozens of dead animals discovered in a freezer.
It's an ongoing hoarding case tonight. Our 8 News Now investigators with new details. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne has a look at some of the horrifying things investigators found at their home here in Las Vegas.
Denise Bryant behind me, Carolyn Luke and Timothy Miller, both in their 70s. They took a plea deal in Boulder City that has them doing counseling for hoarding and a suspended sentence on animal abuse charges. Tonight, a nauseating look inside the clutter and disarray inside a separate Las Vegas home that include dozens of animals, both dead and alive. A warning, some of these images are disturbing. Look at all the clutter inside this Spring Valley home. A home to whatever all this stuff is, crammed from wall to wall. But don't look too closely and hold your nose, because inside this disgusting 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath house, police found 42 dead animals, including 30 guinea pigs and 4 dogs inside a freezer here in the kitchen. This animal abuse case came to light just over a month ago when 79-year-old Timothy Miller and 72-year-old Carolyn Luke were busted in Boulder City with dead guinea pigs inside their car.
Once they stopped the vehicle and made contact with the drivers, they could smell the odor of what smelled like dead animals inside the vehicle.
Police found 51 animals inside that car, 11 of which were dead and the others circling the drain. Then Metro got a search warrant for a hotel room in the West Valley where Luke and Miller were holed up, and they found over 30 dogs, 12 of them already dead. The hotel having already evicted them after neighbors complained about the, quote, smell of death. Compare that to the charges torturing and killing even more animals here in Las Vegas, where they found those dead animals in the freezer and dozens more alive rescued inside this cluttered hoarder's den. In addition to the 14 counts this couple faces here in Las Vegas, they have been ordered not to have any animals, Brian.
Thank you, Kyle. We're expecting both Carolyn Luke and Timothy Miller back in Las Vegas Justice Court, that in August.
We've seen some of these images before, but it seems like as these court proceedings progress, we find out more and more of these details. And like I said, it's just really important that we pay attention, that we don't try to tune it out, even though it is difficult. It's that knowledge that can empower us to make change. So there's one last video about where the case stands now and what is next. So let's watch that.
Just 2 days after being sentenced in a Boulder City courtroom, suspected animal hoarders Carolyn Luke and Timothy Miller appeared in a Las Vegas justice courtroom Thursday afternoon. Both were shackled and in plain clothes. Each are now facing 14 counts of felony animal abuse charges in the city of Las Vegas.
The court does find probable cause for your arrest in this case. However, the state is requesting 120 days to file a criminal complaint.
Miller and Luke were ordered to be released from jail without having to post bond.
While this case is pending, you are ordered to stay out of trouble. You are also ordered not to possess animals. Do you understand?
Yes.
The couple was arrested last month in Boulder City. Police say they were running away from a person who reported them. Between their house, car, and a hotel room, they're accused of abusing and hoarding nearly 200 animals, 66 found dead.
They'll go back to Boulder City. They'll be fitted with an ankle bracelet, and they'll have to start serving their house arrest time.
Former Clark County District Attorney David Rogers says the couple will now have to serve their 2.5-year sentence for 5 counts of misdemeanor charges in Boulder City. Last week, the couple told a judge they felt horrible about what happened.
I'm sorry that it's worked out like this.
I love those animals so much, all of them. And I was trying to, rescue them.
The couple is scheduled to be back in court August 22nd. At the Regional Justice Center, I'm Jae-Won Jung.
When I first saw that video, I was really upset because both Tim and Carol's arguments are very disingenuous, in my opinion. Tim said that he was sorry that it worked out the way that it did, but things don't just work out when it comes to taking care of animals. They don't just work out a certain way, especially when we're talking about that many animals. What happened to those animals and the situation was directly related to their actions, and they are completely 100% responsible for what happened. It didn't just work out that way. And then Carol said that she loved all those animals and that she was trying to rescue them. And for me, what that is an indication of is serious mental issues. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not any kind of doctor that's able to diagnose any mental illnesses. And there's no doubt in my mind that she thought she loved those animals. But if you really love animals, you don't take on more than you can handle. All of these animals that I have here, I work really hard to take care of them, to provide them with medical care. I clean their cages every day. And, just I hear a water bottle in the background that's almost empty, and it makes me, oh my gosh, I got to make sure to fill the water bottle. There's no excuse for not taking care of your animals. You've got to know your limits. You've got to know what you can handle. And it's important to step up and do that work, but to ask for help if you can't. So it really upsets me as somebody who does really rescue animals that someone who would actually neglect and harm animals would consider themselves rescuers. And if you saw my previous video about broccoli and carrot and how I actually gave them some of my fosters thinking that they were going to a good home. And as I said in that video, I don't know what happened from when I gave them to now, whether they used to have a good home. Everything that they showed me, a really nice, beautiful cage, a clean cage. They showed me a really good setup. They seemed genuine about wanting to care for these animals, and I just don't know what happened in the last 4 years or if we were lied to. And that's what's so disturbing is she said she was rescuing those animals. Well, many of those animals came from pet shops, and it's my understanding that tens of thousands of dollars over the years were spent on purchasing animals. And I also heard that she said that she hated the saying, "Don't shop, adopt," and considered purchasing all these animals from the pet shop rescuing. Well, if they're coming from breeders, if you're buying animal after animal after animal and the pet shop doesn't ask questions, they're just as complicit in this, in my opinion, as those two are. At the end of the day, you're not rescuing animals if you're putting them in even more danger and causing real rescues and the state to step in and try to save them. And as we know, many of them didn't make it. So as we learned from that last video, they are both facing 14 counts of willful and malicious torture of animals. Those are felony counts. They will be out for the next 3 months on house arrest, and these charges are, from my understanding, these are the Las Vegas charges, which are separate from the charges that they faced in Boulder City. So the state asked for 120 days, 3 months. What is that? 4 months, 120, 30 times 4 months of time to get that case prepared, and then they will go back in August. And who knows what could happen between now and then. Hopefully, if they're on probation, if they're on house arrest, that they are responsible to people, that they're not just free to do whatever they want. It's crazy to me, it's heartbreaking to me that they do have their freedom, that they are out. I don't want anybody to go to jail, but I don't want anybody to perpetuate this. Harming one animal willfully is horrible and sad, but at the volume and the level that they were putting animals in harm's way, it's mind-boggling. It's sickening. So, like I said, I don't want anybody to be put in jail, but if they are held responsible criminally, if there is a punishment that includes jail, that makes a serious difference and impact in their lives, then that can serve as a deterrent to others. And that is the point. It is about raising awareness of this situation and other situations like this, and it's about preventing these horrible situations from happening in the first place. And if people know that there is serious punishment associated with behavior like this, then maybe it will be prevented before it happens. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. Again, let's be respectful. Let's understand that the justice system has to work its way out, work its way through. It's not always as fast as we would hope, but that's the system that we have. Let's just hope that justice is served, that it actually happens. Now, if you want to follow what's happened with these animals, the ones that survived, that made it out, that are now safe in rescues, of course, you can follow the Vegas Friends of Guinea Pig Rescue, and that's where a majority of those guinea pigs went. And you can also, of course, follow the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue, where those initial 20 pregnant females went. And of course, you can, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and if you haven't hit the bell notification, I'm going to be doing updates. Remember, Anne, our friend and angel, still has almost 20 boys, and we are still trying to find fosters basically all across the Southwest. If you are able to foster or want to adopt, reach out to me, reach out to the Vegas Friends, reach out to Southern California Guinea Pig Rescue. So there are so many rescue opportunities. Our community still has to come together. We are in this together, and that's the only way we're going to work through it. A hoarding situation like this essentially disables these rescues, because there are so many people that, through no fault of their own, are suffering personal crisis and emergencies and need to surrender their guinea pigs, their pets. That's what the shelters are for. That's what the rescues are for. But when a situation like this with hundreds of animals basically clogs up the shelter system and all of the dedicated rescues that step up, then it makes it harder for people who really do need the services of rescues. And unfortunately, there's just not enough adopters to absorb this shock. So we got to do what we can to raise awareness, to prevent things like this from happening, and to make the public aware so that they can step up and be part of the help and the healing. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to be able to share these updates. I know it's hard, it's sickening. Hopefully it empowers you. Rescue is turning a sad story into a happy one. Rescuing is taking a bad situation and animals that are in that bad situation and turning it around and saving them and getting them to a safe place where they're no longer in danger, they're no longer suffering, and they feel that security that all of our animals deserve. So thank you for empowering me to do it. I hope I'm empowering you to make the change that you want to see in the world. All right. I'll put right here some of those other videos related to this situation if you missed it and you want to get caught up. And of course, there will always be links down in the description below to our rescue partners. So please check those out. And until next time, thank you for watching and thank you for your support.